Well, hello. I'm Professor Loertscher and delighted today to interview Nancy Lucero from San Francisco. And Nancy, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us about the school you're in at the moment and the kind of students that are attracted there, and we'll continue.
Good morning, Dr. Loertscher. My name is Nancy Lucero. I am a teacher librarian at Dr. William Cobb in San Francisco. It's an elementary school, an inter-district school. There's about 180 students. It's a very small school. There's, I think 52% are of white nationality, 37% is African-American. Latino was about 20%, and then we have about 16% of disability. Students are identified with disabilities, and I think 9% of homelessness. Very diverse school. We have about 7% Pacific Islanders.
And then you are bilingual, right?
I am bilingual. I've already found some kids that I see them and they see me, and we say buenos dias in the morning, and they come into the library. Do we have books in Spanish? And it's like, if we don't have them, we will find them.
Okay, so I understand that you have failed retirement again, so you're attacking a new school, and I think a lot of our viewers have hire a teacher librarian for the first time or after a period of time, and so I thought you are a great example of high expertise. You're attacking a whole brand new community, a school. And so let's just kind of point to how you start to do this. And I think as we've talked, let's start with the environment. What happens?
So as expertise as I am, every time you come to a new community, it's a new year. It's a new learning for me as a librarian. And I came to a new school after I retired in 2020. And then I was called back in February of 2021 because of a shortage of teachers. And I was like, oh my God, yes. So I come to a school and I look at the first thing I do is I assess my environment. I want to know what's there. I don't know if it matches the student need there, but I'm just going to assess what's there. If it's furniture, does it meet the standards for, do I have a child in a wheelchair, which actually there's 2 children in wheelchairs this year, that kind of stuff, just different things that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for it, the brightness of it, are my books being faced out? How are they being shelved? How are they sectioned? Is it just Dewey system? Is it really Dewey is okay, but it's not, that's the first thing I do. And then that's only part of it, because I have to wait till the students come in and interact with that environment. When I see that I put the tables a certain way, like, oh no, that's not going to work. I need to rearrange that furniture the way those kids are using that library. Okay. And over time, I always wanted desks and I wanted chairs. Well, now the library is a little bit different. Now there's not as many desks and there's not as many normal chairs, I'll say, or the traditional chairs. Now there's chairs on the floor, or there's bean bags, or it's just different. Okay. And I'm guided by the students. That's how I'm guided with the environment.
And then what's next as you're starting your first weeks?
So the first week I'm in the library by myself, just getting things ready. I'm looking at my collection, just seeing what's there, what I know that could be there, what I know that kids, from the experience, you can't have a library without Mo Willems. You can't have a library without Wimpy Kids or Jeff Kenny's books. You can't have a library without those. It's not official. And then where's my devices? Where are they? Where I got to make sure that my devices are there. And then I go out on the yard in the morning. I greet families just like all the other teachers. I want to make sure that they see me. I don't want them to, oh yeah, my son goes or my daughter goes to library. I want them to know, hey, this librarian is Miss Lucero. So I'm out there greeting parents, taking pictures. First day of school, I take pictures of students, and then I ask the parents, can I send you your picture? And they said, and then I send it to them. And here's one right here. I sent her, well, this is actually in the library. She'd already come to the library, but now I have a parent's address. So what did I go? I said, good morning, Kristen. I thought this was a sweet smile that would be a great start of your day. And what does she write back? Oh my God, thank you. I'm so happy that you are our librarian. And there's my first connection. And I've been taking pictures and then once I get their phone number, I send them pictures. And it's just one other connection. We have back to school night on September 8th. Guess where I'll be? It's at 7 o'clock and I'll be there to make sure that this is what we do in our program. This is what we do. We don't just read books. Kids read, kids write in the library. Kids build things and they create things. Kids use devices on the library. They do research and they're like, really? It's not a quiet library? It's not.
So you put hooks in parents and then talk to us about what's going on with the faculty.
So our faculty was on Wednesday. I always make sure that I schedule my schedule, you know, as we have over 105 librarians in San Francisco, and it seems amazing. The problem is that many of us are part-time or work in different schools. Like I was a full-time position when I was a different school, but I'm now a part-time. It doesn't make a difference for me, whether I'm part-time or full-time. I need to make sure that that library is up and running and functioning at all times. So when I'm not there, they have carts that go into the classroom. When they come in with me for a formal visit, then they get to do the other stuff. After school, I have the library open for after school and I have it open in the library. But what do? I make sure I give my schedule to the teachers and to the admin. I make sure I schedule with my admin, with my principal. I schedule with her every other month. In the first month, I do it twice. I want to make sure that she understands what my expectations are and what I will be with the students, a simple expectation that I greet every student at my door. I don't just come in or you can't check out a book because you have one out. That is like the oldest. My kids can come in and they can check out as many books as they can read in a week. Right. It's, they're like, really? I go, yes, really. Because the books on a shelf mean nothing. It's that they need to have those books in their hand. And then I share with them the surveys. This is a survey that the 2nd through 5th graders gave this week. You know, questions were like, do you speak another language? Do you like to read in English and Spanish? Letting the admin know what I'm doing, giving her a schedule or him a schedule. In this case, it's a she. Giving her and the others teachers what I can do for them. And, if I can be a resource. What are you working on? Okay, you know what? I don't know the answers, but let me find you some resources. And the reason I do that is because I want to identify my stakeholders right away. I want to be known. I want to make sure that when I first became a librarian, I just kind of waited and I got $200. $200 was all I got. But as soon as I started advocating for the library and giving them what we can aspire to, they were like, oh, all right, here's 1,000. And every year since I want to say 2000, maybe 2009, I've gotten more than 20,000 a year.
Wow.
And yes, I have. Last year.
What sources have you got?
What sources do I use? I use the principal. I use parents. I use Donors Choose. I use just, parents coming in and I word of mouth, other colleagues. My family. I mean, I do get my family too, but it's amazing that people have support. I told the principal, like right now, I just told my supervisor, the library is drab. First of all, I don't like posters that are purchased. We're doing posters with kids' faces and they're reading. Right. The teachers was the first thing they're doing. All the teachers right now gave me pictures of themselves reading anything, a map, a menu, a book, a newspaper. Our janitor did it. Our secretary did it. Our principal did it. Other teachers did it. Paras did it, because we're all readers, right? We're a community of readers. Very good. And I want the kids to aspire to that. So I want to make sure that my admin knows even this year, Jerry did not ask me for my lesson plans or my goals. And I just said, this is where I'm aspiring to. By the end of the year, I would like to have done this. And she goes, wow, because I want her to know that I have a direction and I have a vision and it changes with time, because when I look over these surveys that the kids did for me, they're like, But you know what, Miss Lucero, I really would like to see, I would like to see my faces in here. And this is one child that says, listen to a story, read, do research, play games, draw, and build. This is a third grader. A third grader did this. So that, so I want my admin to know, please leave. And the reason I also is because I want them to know that don't schedule me during a lunchtime, because I want that lunchtime open for kids to come in and do their thing. Because in the very past, it was very passive. They gave me my schedule. Please don't do that to me. Let me create my schedule, because I know what I need. I need from 11 to 1 o'clock blocked off so that kids can come in, not just once a week on their time for that 40 minutes. I want them to be able to come in on their own independently. Isn't that what we want? We want independent thinkers and independent learners.
There you go.
So that's why I want to, it's really important to speak with my admin, get support from my parents, and then of course, have a place for students to feel safe, for them to grow, for them to create, for them to discover.
So you've done this a number of times in different schools.
Mm-hmm.
And so what actually puts you kind of in the center of teaching and learning in the entire school, you know, as you think about what you've accomplished and what you're able to do?
Dr. Loertscher, I think of my parents when I grew up. I grew up in New Mexico, and I remember in my home, we only had the Bible. Not a bad thing. That's all we had, though, was the Bible. I knew verses. I knew the Bible, but that's all that I had. And I didn't know how to read until I was probably in the 5th grade. And when I didn't know how to, I was always in compensatory ed. They would pull me out of class. And I think, you know, everybody comes to school, and I think when they come to school, I think we're all happy. We're all eager to learn, whether I can do it or not. And so, and parents, I've never met a parent that doesn't want their child to learn. I never have met that person. I don't want my child to learn, just keep them. I've never met that person. Yet there are students that haven't been able to learn as successful as the next child. So I want to make sure that I have an open environment for them to come and choose their book, for them to choose, even if they can't read the word that I can read, that they can talk about the illustration. Because in parts of literacy, an illustration is a picture, or that they can go online and read a book, or a book be read to them, or that they can create something. You know, I have nephews that are musicians, and oh my God, and according to me, when they were horrible students at SOTA in San Francisco. And yet these kids, their intelligence in music is amazing. So I want to make sure that they have a place where they can go to, that it's open enough for them to be eager to find their own learning. And that's what I do think about myself as a learner, and I needed a little bit more untimed activities. That's why I want that 45 minutes block time. When a bell rings, it's like, time to go, Dr. Loertscher, you gotta go, you gotta go to class. And kids aren't built that way. We need another smoother transition. And that's what the Library Media Center offers them, a little bit more transition time.
So we have a lot of people that are coming into the profession, and then superintendents and principals who would like a person like you that really understands. What is your recommendation for administrators and parents to attract a person like you?
I want me not to be passive, not to be given. I want to be active. I want to join. I have joined the PTA. I want to make sure that, oh, it's not my contractual hours. I don't have to be there. It's true. We don't have to be there, but I want to be there. I want, I want to make sure I make those connections. I want to make sure that I'm not going to wait for someone to say, well, you're only part-time. You're only given $200. You're only, right. I'm not going to be in that. You're put in a box, and it's your choice to stay there. I want to make sure that my voice is heard, but not just heard, but I want to be part of. I want to be part of that community, and being part of that community does mean more hours. It does mean more commitment. It does mean signing up for the PTA. It does, because when I go on the PTAs, I was on it all, and at the other school, and oh my God, I had parents donating to my donors choose. I had parents coming in and doing volunteer work with me. I had admin who went from $100 to $10,000. And then from my supervisor, Brad, he gave me another $10,000. That's because I had to show, not just, hey, I need this. No, but I showed, I do my assessment. And then I always, at the end of the year, I write my letter and say, this is where we are. This is in our second year. This is where we still need to go. And I think just voicing, but also documenting. Documenting is really important. That's the world that we live in, right? It's the world that, and make it, like I say, I think my first 2 years I was learning, but I realized I came with a mentality from a classroom. In a classroom, you're isolated in many times. And I went into as a teacher librarian in 2007 thinking, oh gosh, this is the same way. I'm isolated. That doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. And PD for me is amazing. I hook myself up with the Dr. Loertschers of the world and Lisa Bishops of the world and Kay Hones of the world. And my national board was another one. Getting me personalizing my my professional capacity, that is important. But I think just advocating is what I want to say. Advocating. Yeah. And give and show why and what are the outcomes of this.
So you prove over and over again what we all know. It's the person in the job and the expertise they bring to that job. So as a final thought, what do you think about this whole idea of library and student and principals and teachers together?
I never imagined as a child, I was so happy going to, I felt rich when I was a child. I did. I felt rich because the librarian that I experienced would let the Lucero kids, there was 8 of us, go to a library and walk out with a stack of books. I mean, that to me was like, wow, that was like, so special. But I think that being in a partnership with other colleagues, being in a partnership with expertise, that is what builds me, and that's what keeps me going. That's what I think it's about.
Well, Nancy, it's been a wonderful interview, and you are just such a super person, and we hope that we need 1,000 of you immediately. So
we need to just
so very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for considering me.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.